Iris here. This is my first speed paint. I never thought of speed painting before, but I think it's a really nice way to archive my art and kind of just explain and show how I do it. Well, I'm doing this art in GIMP. It's mostly the program I use for cartoon things like this, and I just use the pencil tool because it's more solid than the paintbrush or the airbrush. Here I'm doing a Dunkleosteus. The Dunkleosteus is an Arthrodire placoderm fish, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, that existed during the late Devonian period, which lasted about 358 or 382 million years ago. It might have been one of the largest placoderms to exist, unless there's an even bigger one that we just haven't discovered yet. Species D. terrelli grew up to 6 meters, or 19.7 feet long, and 1 ton. And it weighed 1 ton, not was 1 ton long. Oh, and by the way, it didn't even have teeth. Its teeth were actually just normal bones fused to its skull. So, well, the first thing that you would notice about it is that it has some really cool armored plates on it. It might have been used to store calcium, and of course to protect its head from the scrunchos. Fossils with bite marks show that Dunkleosteus sometimes fight with each other. Or, well, the bone teeth kind of fit rather nicely into the shape of the bite marks of the skull. So that's how they found that out. It's thought that they could quickly open and close their jaws, and their bite force was about 6,000 newtons at the tip. They could open and close their jaws in about 60 milliseconds. That's just a scientific estimate, though. Might be false, nobody really knows, but based off of their anatomy and the fossils and preserved tissue that we find, that's just what the scientific community thinks. Oh, and there are 10 different known species and subspecies of Dunkleosteus. They all range from different sizes, had different types of patterns and formations on their skulls, and they were really cool. Oh, I probably didn't draw the skull plates correctly. Yeah, I didn't look at the placement of the plates. Well, just putting a background here. They didn't have, since I'm using a different computer, they didn't have the type of brush that I usually use to make water, but I think this one is even better. Mine looked a bit more like a oil pastel drawing, but this one just looks a bit more like normal anime water, I guess? Oh well, just drawing some bubbles. I didn't bother shading them because that would have taken a long time and bumped up my 36 minutes to a couple of hours, I guess. Oh, I could have just shaded one and made a brush copier paster. Oh well, it's done already. I'll just do it for the next one. The tail was a bit tricky. I had to delete part of it and do it all over again a couple of times, but I think I'm pretty satisfied with it now. I usually like drawing on pencil and paper, but drawing online on GIMP works too. Wait, not online. Does online correlate to the internet? No, this is an application. It's free though, and it's the one that I primarily use. Sometimes I use other ones though, but this is the one that I like to use most. Yeah, I usually like to listen to documentaries when I'm doing art. Usually a documentary that relates to the type of thing that I'm drawing, especially if it's some sort of animal. Or I just listen to anything, or sometimes I watch something on TV, but it usually slows down my art when I watch something while doing it, because I don't have chameleon eyes that can see in 2 places at once. So, here I listened to PBS Eon's video about basic placoderms. The video's titled When Fish Wore Armor, and I think it's a really cool video. I wasn't sponsored by them or anything, but I just wanted to share. I like them a lot. They're cool. Oh, Random fun fact that just popped into my head. Did you guys know that crows place seeds in the middle of the street for cars to crush? Yeah, they're really cool. Time for shading! Well, basic shading. This is just kind of like an anime style basic underwater shading. Just put a... yeah. I think I made the water marks kind of nicely there. What are those little shiny white things called? And yep, I forgot the pectoral fin. Yeah. I wonder what I should draw next. Maybe some sort of other placoderm. You know, I would like to talk about other types of placoderms, but honestly, I'm not very informed when it comes to placoderms. Well, I know that there was one kind of like the Dunkleosteus, but it was smaller and had a long snout. Perhaps I'll do that one next. It's almost done. I wonder if there's a new Pokemon based off of Dunkleosteus. That would be pretty cool. Okay guys, it's done now. Here's the finished product. See you guys later. New speed paints coming soon. Bye. Sneep snorp.